out for lunch one day, and I was kind of deciding what I was going to be when I grew up, and Kristin was helping me, and so I kind of jokingly again said, you know, maybe this is the time, maybe this is what we need to do, and we should open a company. And really the only thing that I know how to do, the only thing I've ever done is title insurance and closings. And
a large part of what I did was just in title insurance, but the other part of title insurance was the title research side of things.
So my strength was in the closing side. If anybody's purchased a house or refinanced their house and had to sit through all the paperwork, that's what I do. I present all of that, and Kristin does
all the work that you don't see to get to that point
at the courthouse and all of the hard stuff that I don't like to do. So we complemented each other really well anyways in our strengths, and it went from kind of like a joke, kind of a dream, to this might actually be possible. We actually could do this, but neither one of us had a whole lot of experience in actually starting a business. I had managed a business, Kristin had done management as well, but as far as starting from scratch, we really didn't have a whole lot of experience with that, but I luckily had a lot of free time on my hands.
So we took a little bit initially of our personal finances, and then we went to the bank. And so I shopped around, I went to a couple banks, sat down, had a couple appointments, and before we even walked in the door, I had to figure out how much I needed to ask for. And that was really a big part of going through the planning process for me and doing the business plan, was to figure out how much money are we going to need and where would the bank come into play. So it was a good thing I did the business plan, because I sat across from Mike Simon at Northern State Bank, and he didn't know me from Adam. We had been in there once or twice, you know, with mortgage types of things, but he had no idea who we were. And you know, he had some really tough questions. Why do you think you can start a business? You know, I mean, do you have any information? How much do you need? So he had some really tough questions, and had I not gone through that planning process, I wouldn't have been able to answer those questions. So if anything, he was a little skeptical, and that's my 2 cents, I guess. You know, be careful. People will be skeptical, and that's good. But I had, fortunately, some of those answers for him that he was looking for.
Tell me about your business. What's the plan? You know, what do you intend to do? Who do you intend to serve? What product do you intend to make? And tell me about you, you know, and how you fit into this plan, and how you will make it work, and what sort of experience you have. Let me see your resume. And of course, I wouldn't be a banker without addressing the, how are you going to pay me back? You know, and you know, the comment was made here about down payments, and you know, there's all kinds of different slang words for down payments. You know, some bankers refer to it as, I don't know, what do you have in the game? You know, because you know, when you think about a bank, we take in depositors' money and we lend that back out. So we're stewards of the depositors' money. And if we don't make good decisions, decisions where we will get paid back, we aren't bankers very long. And the banking business isn't in business for very long.
When we look at the community, it's a whole different aspect, because I did come out of the big corporate banks. I came out of one that's one of the larger ones in the world right now, and they don't look at people as the person that's starting this business. They look at it as a number, they look at it as a solution, they look at it as profitability. You know, what part of profitability will you become of that bank? The community banks take a look at it from a whole different aspect, because we are here, we're part of the community, we walk past your doors every day, and we want to be part of those growths that you have. Just as we talked about Hard Graphics growing, I think we take as much personal pride in that as the owners do, almost anyway, because we do want to be part of it. I'm excited to see it as it opens up.
But getting to know on a personal level the people you're doing business with, whether it's your customers or your banker, I think is really key. And Rob and I think we got along well through that residential salvage job, and just stayed in touch. And so I went right to him when I was thinking of this commercial purchase, and sat down and just had a, like you'd sit down at a bar with your buddy, conversation. After that, of course, I brought in my books, and you know, we went through all formalities. He wanted, of course, to see my profit and loss. He wanted to see where the payment would come from. And so I had all that prepared. But just the level of comfort that I had with him at the time made it very smooth.